Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here, clicking on the video, stopping in on this wonderful day that is. I'm having a great day, and I hope that you are as well. As today we listened, it's been a little bit, we returned to a little Joni Mitchell. Excuse me, we're going to listen to this track, Song for Sharon. Sorry, choking here. Off of the album Hejira, 8th studio album, released 1976. We had begun listening to this album, then I just kind of got distracted. But we're returning to it with this specific track. I'm so sorry. I made a protein shake, and I'm using a new protein powder, and no matter what, the powder itself does not dissolve, and I'm finding that out very quickly. We're listening to this track because it was suggested and sponsored by Mark. Thank you so much, Mark, for the support. I really appreciate it. Always a wonderful time listening to Miss Mitchell. But this particular track had also been suggested by New Life, Steve Martin, Schuler Southwell. Let's see. Newlin, I believe I pronounced your name correctly. Wilbur Jr., Mikkel, Chris Hughes, Johnny Tay, Paul 9010, and Kenneth Kyles. Thank you guys so much for the suggestion. I apologize for the choking. Maybe we should just play the song, let it go, and we'll discuss it a little bit after. Here we go.
I went to Staten Island, Sharon, to buy myself a mandolin. And I saw the long white dress of love on a storefront mannequin. Big boat chugging back with a belly full of cars, all for something lacy. Some girl's gonna see that dress and crave that day like crazy.
That bass hold on.
Little Indian kids on a bridge up in Canada, they can balance and they can climb like their fathers before them. They'll walk the girders of the Manhattan skyline.
Like that famous picture.
Shine your light on me, Miss Liberty, because as soon as this ferry boat docks, I'm headed to the church to play bingo. Fleece me with a gambler's flocks.
Great line. It's a great little instrumental moment there.
I can keep my cool at poker, but I'm a fool when love's at stake.
Another great line.
Because I can't conceal emotion, but I'm feelings always written on my face. There's a gypsy down on Bleecker Street. I went in to see her as a kind of joke, and she lit a candle for my love lock, and $18 went up in smoke.
Resolve. Yeah. That's wonderful.
Sharon, I left my man at a North Dakota junction, and I came out to the Big Apple here to face the dream's malfunction. Love's a repetitious danger. You'd think I'd be accustomed to, well, I do accept the changes, at least better than I used to do.
And I love how she says accept the changes, and the music changes there. I caught you, Joni. I got you. Kind of like hitting the rails of a train, signaling travel journey.
A woman I knew just drowned herself. The well was deep and muddy. shaking off futility or punishing somebody.
Is that her humming?
Up all day yesterday. All emotions and abstractions. It seems we all live so close to that line and so far from satisfaction. Dora says have children. Mama and Betsy say, find yourself a charity.
I love those almost gospel.
Help the needy and the crippled, or put some time into ecology.
Which makes sense with the line there.
Well, there's a wide, wide world of noble causes and lovely landscapes to discover. But all I really want to do right now is find another lover.
I love this little piece.
When we were kids in Maidstone, Sharon, I went to every wedding in that little town to see the tears and the kisses and the pretty lady in the white lace wedding gown. And walking home on the railroad tracks, or swinging on the playground swing. Love stimulated my illusions more than anything. And when I went skating after Gould and Reggie, you know it was white lace I was chasing dreams. Mama's nylons underneath my cowgirl jeans. You showed me first to get the kisses, and then you get the tears. But the ceremony of the bells and lace still veils this reckless fool here.
That whole stanza there is really nice.
Now there are 29 skaters on Walnut Rink, circling in singles and in pairs. In this vigorous anonymity, the blank face at the window stares and stares and stares and stares and stares. And the power of reason and the flowers of deep feelings seem to serve me only to deceive me. Sharon, you got a husband and a family and a farm. I got the apple of temptation and a diamond snake around my arm. But you still have your music, and I've still got my eyes on the land and the sky. You sing for your friends and your family. I'll walk green pastures by and by.
There's a lot to pull from in this track. There's a lot of meaning, a lot to grasp. And I've probably said it many times before, and I'm just going to say it again. I think that on a deeper level, with her lyrics and her writing, her style of writing, I genuinely still think that Joni Mitchell is underrated. I truly believe that she is, from what I've listened to and what I've read, one of today's modern great poets. It just so happens that she's also a musician, and her art form, is more known, of course, as a musician. But putting it all together, and I mean, if you want to separate it, I genuinely think that she is one of the greatest writers in modern history. And I'm taking the music out of it. I just mean as a writer. Because her lyrics tell such a story. They take you on a journey. This is a track that explores, I'm assuming personal, past, present, and future. Past goals, future dreams, current achievements. And the way that she tells this tale around it, I'm assuming it's autobiographical and it's something personal. And I'm assuming Sharon is an actual person that she knows. I don't know. But we're going to find out. The way that she truly weaves this tale and wraps us into this tale and coaxes us in and really draws us through and takes us through these city streets and these real life places, perhaps merging the nonfiction with the fiction, or perhaps it's all true. Who knows? But the way that she presents it, I think, is masterful and truly a level of genius in just the writing. The music is great as well. You have that very folky and yet kind of subtly psychedelic, subtly funky guitar. The tone on it, that kind of echoes through. It has that nice kind of like sound to it, that it kind of has a little bit of an echo, something to it, and I like that effect. It kind of adds a different kind of nuance and atmosphere to the sound that's being had here. The bass playing on this particular track is going to be handled by Max Bennett, and I love that little moment after she's done with her verse, after she's done with her stanza. They get that little moment, and then it resolves and goes back to the verse. It's just a little break right after the verse, which is very stream of conscious. There's not like a chorus. It's just verse, 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 verse. And it's a nice little motif to always come back to that perhaps acts like a chorus in some capacity, And I really, really enjoyed that. The drumming on this particular track is John Guerin, and it's very subtle most of the way. Actually, it's very subtle the whole time, but there's a few moments that perfectly tie into the lyrics as well that kind of pick up a little bit or add a little something. And I really enjoy that aspect, which we'll get it further into as we dive into the lyrics. And of course, Joni herself sounds absolutely wonderful. No doubt about that. Let's look at these lyrics because we're going to tie this all kind of together a little bit. And a lot of these references I won't get, but I think the main gist of it we can. I went to Staten Island, Sharon, to buy myself a mandolin, and I saw the long white dress of love on a storefront mannequin. Big boat chugging back with a belly full of cars, all for something lacy. Some girls going to see that dress and crave that day like crazy. So I like how she, we're talking to Sharon. This is literally a song for Sharon. You can see her kind of writing a letter. It's like, I went to go buy a mandolin. I saw a long white dress of love on the storefront mannequin, thinking, wow, someone's going to look at that dress one day and just crave that day like crazy, right? Little Indian kids on a bridge up in Canada, they can balance and they can climb like their fathers before them. They'll walk the girders of the Manhattan skyline, like that one famous photograph of the construction workers probably eating lunch on that one long beam of steel. Shine your light on me, Miss Liberty, because as soon as this ferry boat docks, I'm headed to the church to play bingo. Fleece me with the gambler's flocks. I love this line. Fleece me with the gambler's flocks and, the sheep. I like the... that's not necessarily a double entendre, but the play on words, I suppose, there. I can keep my cool at poker, but I'm a fool when love's at stake, because I can't conceal emotion. What I'm feeling is always written on my face. So not only keeping the gambling, the poker face, not only keeping that theme going through into this verse, but this part, I can't conceal emotion, I feel comes back to, this long white dress of love. She on the storefront mannequin. She saw that and it evidently triggers something within her. And she says she can't help but feel, show it. She can't help but write and sing about this experience. There's a gypsy down on Bleecker Street. I went in to see her as kind of a joke. She lit a candle for my love luck and $18 went up in smoke. And this, these lines are, well, actually these Let me highlight these two verses here. They take me on that journey of putting us on the streets, putting us on the scene, on location with Joni, walking through these places. While I've never been to these places, I don't recognize the streets or anything, but the way that she really nicely whips us into this it's just great storytelling. Sharon, I left my man at a North Dakota junction, and I came out to the Big Apple here to face the dream's malfunction. Love's a repetitious danger you'd think I'd be accustomed to. Well, I do accept the changes, at least better than I used to. So, two things I noticed in the track, if I'm remembering correctly, one of them, is when she says and reiterates Sharon, right? Like reminding us, the audience, that she's writing to Sharon, but, kind of reaffirming her directive and the subject of her writing. At that point, if I remember correctly, the drums, it starts to add a little bit of that ride or the hi-hat, one of the cymbals, if I remember correctly at that moment. But then here, when she mentions accepting the changes, the drums do change. We start to get that extra thump on the kick. And so I like how as she accepts those changes happen musically as well. A woman I knew drowned herself. The well was deep and muddy. She was just shaking off futility or punishing somebody. Like either it's futile or punishing somebody. She's viewing her death or taking her own life as punishing someone else, or perhaps herself. My friends were calling up all day yesterday, all emotions and abstractions. It seems we all live so close to that line and so far from satisfaction. So she's finding a sort of comparison with this woman who drowned herself. We all live close to that line, she says, so far from the satisfaction. I love how she just goes on this wonderful wanderlust of thought in her mind and wonderfully puts it down pen to paper. Dora says, have children. Mama and Betsy say, find yourself a charity. Help the needy and the crippled, or put some time into ecology. Like, do something, give something, right? And earlier than here, but it does happen again here at this charity part, we have those backing vocals that sound very choir, very gospel inspired. And, looking at the personnel list, there's no one else involved on vocals except Joni. So I can't say that I've ever heard Joni singing in that high of a range and in that particular kind of way. And it's really beautifully shocking to hear her do that as those kind of background vocals there. There's a wide world of noble causes and lovely landscapes to discover. But all I really want to do right now is find another lover. There's all these wonderful things that she could do, that she knows she could put her energy into, but right now she just wants to find another lover. When we were kids in Maidstone, Sharon, I went to every wedding in that little town. Now we get a little background, right? They knew each other as kids. To see the tears and the kisses and the pretty lady in the white lace wedding gown. And walking home on the railroad tracks or swinging on the playground swing, love stimulated my illusions more than anything. A lover always at heart. And when I went skating after Golden Reggie, it was white lace I was chasing. She was chasing after marriage. Chasing Golden Reggie. I don't know. It seems like you got to name Golden Reggie. I feel like he's a quick fish. Chasing dreams. Mama nylons underneath my cowgirl jeans. I love that line. He showed me, first you get the kisses and then you get the tears. But the ceremony of the bells and lace still veils this reckless fool here. She's gotten the kisses. She's gotten the tears. She knows heartbreak. She understands it. She feels it. But still, she calls herself a reckless fool because she does want that beautifully described ceremony of the bells and lace, that wedding day. There are 29 skaters in Woolman Rink, circling in singles and in pairs. In this vigorous anonymity, a blank face at the window stares and stares and stares and stares. She draws on because that's her, of course. And I like how she says vigorous anonymity. Not just an anonymous face she describes herself, but vigorous. There's effort, in a sense, to her anonymity. In the power of reason, the flowers of deep feeling seem to serve me only to deceive me. It only hurts her in the end and betrays her. And then she ends, Sharon, you've got a husband and a family and a farm. Like Sharon has those things that seemingly Joni says she perhaps wants. She says, I've got the apple of temptation and a diamond snake around my arm. A diamond snake, she can't break it. She can't get loose from it. Of course, the Adam and Eve, or the Eve comparison rather. But you still have your music, and I've still got my eyes on the land and the sky. You sing for your friends and your family. I'll walk green pastures by and by. Maybe I don't have exactly what I want yet, but I'm still looking. I'm still satisfied. I'm on that journey. And the journey is beautiful. I think that is such great writing. Like I said, the music is wonderful as well, but the lyrics and the way that she takes us on this wonderful journey through her mind, through her feelings, her emotions on such a personal level, I think can't be understated. And I really do mean what I said, that I think that she is still an underrated writer in many, many ways. Let me know what you guys thought of this wonderful piece of music in the comments down below. Mark, thank you so much for the suggestion and sponsorship. I really appreciate the support. I hope that you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Please come back by tomorrow, and I will see you all then. Bye.